Guys, what we're going to work on, Ude Garami, arm entanglement. It's the bent arm lock. Okay, Ude, arm, Garami means to wrap or to entangle. And a particularly sneaky way of doing it is the one off the bottom guard here that Mike likes to do, and Derek has done it a lot too. So, Mike, I'm going to let you take it from here and just let him have it. Anything we need to add? Derek, you need to add to it? Let's go get him.
Well, I tend to think about the gazoosh a lot when I'm doing this. I really want to break their posture so that I break their balance to knock them over. And so when you've got a really strong guy gripping up on you, what you need to do here is get him to plant, because he doesn't ever want to plant. And so once you're here, you can start to feel his body shift for that kazushi. And so what I like to do is get real deep and just swim up top, shoot my hips, and really kind of press over and try to just keep in real tight, wrap your wrist, don't hook the thumb, and just drive up.
Now, some points here that Mike's doing. Mike, would you go ahead and do that again? Pop them there. See how he plants? Now, everybody, if you can see, I'm going to get in front of the camera. Come back out slowly. This is the anchor hand. Bam, see that? Anchor on that wrist. Now, look what Mike did. He rolled into Derek. He didn't stay on his back. He's active now. He's up on his haunches here, and look how he came over, and he got this nice key lock position here like this, okay, on this grip. And then he comes back and he settles back in. He rolls back in. He's kind of in the shape of the L. The bodies are in the L shape. But look at the way Mike rolls it, and look at the way he finishes. And when he finishes, kind of like, see how he's sideways? But look at the leg across here, and the other leg is planted on the mat here, and he's just pinching Derek's body in between them. He's stuck, okay? These are the fundamental things that really work. Now, with his elbow is pushing down, the wrist is pushing up, and then you got the pain, okay? It's a shoulder lock as much as it is an elbow lock, but it certainly is an elbow lock. But notice how he rolls, he traps, and he comes over, and there he rolls to finish. Now, Mike, you have a little bit of way you like to roll your leg over a little bit to add a little more oomph to it, I know. And he'll roll his body to the right, or to your left, I guess. So watch how he does fairly slow, and he kicks the leg over a little more. See that? That adds sometimes to it. But get to the basic. Do the basic first. It's always worked for us pretty well straight across. And if he's not tapping out, if he's a real tough guy, got a very flexible shoulder, you might have to crank it over a little more. Yeah, but he's tapping out pretty good. Okay? All right. And there's your Ude Garami. Bent arm lock, arm entanglement from the bottom, okay? The only thing I'd add is, years ago in practice, a buddy of mine, let me have one of you guys, doesn't matter. A buddy of mine, Ken Pattison, we were working out back in the 80s, this is how old, and I thought I was pretty good on the mat until I ran into Kenny Pattison, and he proved me wrong. And he was down on the bottom, and he's doing this, and he just gives me his leg. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to pass over that leg, and I'm going to pin him. Now, that was a dumb move on my part. Once I pressed down on that leg, that he gave it to me, okay? That was the bait, all right? And I got hooked. And so Ken Pattison, thank you very much for teaching me this. He grabbed here, he anchored here on that nice bait, and what he did, he quickly rolled over, caught me, swung back in, and trapped it, locked me in. And I said, you got to show me that move. And he said, I just suckered you, that's all, you know? This is the basic Ude Garami from the bottom, but I just faked you out. So he's doing this, and he kind of, I mean, that's attractive. I want to pass that guard. Catch. There's the anchor, just like Mike did before. He showed you the basic way, swing out and pop it down. But this was a little bit different, and then he comes over the top. Now, if you have a guy who's particularly strong or he's bending back, a good way to pull that elbow in sometimes is to kind of here like this and pull it in and then catch it. That little slight pull does help there, slide it through, catch it there. And you notice what Mike was showing on the wrist, sorry, but here you want a thumb grip like this if you can. That's the best way to, I got a good anchor. But when I come over the top, now if you want to grab your own wrist like that, that's okay, but often that's just as quick. Just a kind of a meat hook grip. So if I come across like that and come across there, and I like doing that because I have a little more flexibility with my elbow when I do that, when I come and finish. If I did that, that's fine too. But it's a matter of preference, okay? And then straight across. So that's the only thing I'd add to what Mike was showing, that little fake out that Kenny Pattison did to me and I learned the hard way. but I did learn it, so I want to show it to you guys, okay? That's great. You want to, really on this stuff, on Ude Garami from the bottom here especially, you want to be ambidextrous, as good on the left as you are the right, okay? Can you add anything to that, or can you add anything to that before we go on?
No, I really like the arm drag. I wasn't doing it there, but yeah, that's
Show
to
that,
me
show
that.
that.
I mean, that's where if I'm getting a guy who's really fighting really well, I can just really go quick on it. And I'll use the shoulder too, as even sometimes I've got enough.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Speeds it up a lot.
That's a good point, to drag over that shoulder
If I get a collar grip,
and get good
I can
control.
sink it in.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty quick.
Because what you want to do is you're breaking his balance, kind of like a throwing technique, because you want to break his balance, in this case forward, his head forward. You want to have him do a face plant, okay? If his face is on the mat and you're angled underneath him, you got it. That's pretty much it. Pretty good? That's Ude Garami from the bottom. Little basic application, but I'll tell you what, there may be some fancy ways to do this. People do it with their, leg triangles and stuff. But I think that let's come back to that leg stuff, because you guys do that really well. Watch his leg action before we go on. And I think this is an important point also, everybody. So when he's doing this, now look at the leg action. This traps, and this traps, and look, he's planted on the floor there, on the mat, okay? And he's just squeezing the body in between it. Now, if he had like a body triangle or something, that may look cool, and it may actually work, okay? But you get better traction, and you get better control when you have him sandwiched between your legs, when his body's that way.
Yeah, if I can shrimp onto my side of my hip, I'm going to be a lot stronger than I am flat on my back.
Yeah.
So I like to be very,
There you go. That's
very
a good point.
sideways.
Good point. Be more on the back. If you're on that leg triangle, you have to kind of be on your back.
Yeah.
And it's not a very strong finish. And that way you can finish. Everybody see that? Let's give that a try. It's basic stuff. And again, if you're known as like a Ude Garami guy, or everybody knows you like the straight arm lock stuff, this is the great, change-up move. This is the great, the plan B that nobody knows you got, And if everybody knows you're a Ude Garami guy, and you just look at your record, and you say, I got a whole bunch of wins by Ude Garami too. It means you fool them, and this is a great way to do it. Okay. All right, let's work it. We're doing a kind of a mat work uchikomi drill for the Ude Garami. Bottom man tori, the attacker is going right side, left side, spinning under the top man uke. Back and forth, just drilling on the Ude Garami, just working on getting position and working all the small details out. It's a 30-second drill. Do as many good ones as you can in about 30 seconds. Mate!